All right, welcome to the Muscle Maturity Podcast, episode 79. We are here with Mr. Olympia, Samir Bannout, Marcus Guerrero, and John Hansen, myself. So we are here to talk about what's going on in the world of bodybuilding. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing? Nice to see you guys. We've been skipping quite a bit lately.
Yeah, you've been traveling a lot, Samir, right? Where you been, Budapest?
I wanted to do it, from Europe, and I don't know, somehow where I was staying, I didn't have a very good reception. So,
Yeah.
I miss talking to you. I miss Marcus. I miss you guys.
I miss it, man.
So all good, man. All good. We have a lot of excitement, man. A lot of things happening in the world of bodybuilding, and so the Olympia getting close. That's why I'm telling you, Marcus, you should come and check things out, get more motivated.
I know. We were just looking up the tickets prior.
And yeah, come on. When we do the recap, so we know everything. We have eyewitness, right, John? I think John's going to come. I hope.
Yeah.
I'll probably be doing the live stream and, try to get my best vantage point from there.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully by next year, everything can be set up to where I can really get over there, And like I said, I'm always going to repeat this, but I want to get a workout in with you guys, especially if I go to Florida. John, I know you killed it in Tampa, so I'd like to get something in.
Anytime you come to Cali also, Marcus, I already told you that. So you need to get your rear end over here.
It's going to be exciting, man. It's like right now, and this is the time for it too, because we're like right there around that time. Olympia season is here, so it's upon us.
Hey, tell our old school lab to arrange a workout, but for me, you, and John, we hit back.
I know.
We can give you the real deal on the back training.
Trust, I already know I'm going to be humbled. I'm going to be eating some humble pie that day. Happily.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I've seen John killing it. I've seen Samir always killing it. So, going to work on my T-bar rows.
Come on, we need to do another, like the good old school day, Jean. Well, how many times we used to get together with like the entire old school lab team? Mm-hmm. We train, go to the firehouse and eat, go to Venice Beach. We need to do that again.
Yeah.
I'd be like a kid in a candy store. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there would be excited to, be part of that.
Well, it's about time. We need to do that. Hopefully we'll do that soon. So what's new, Big John?
The big news this week is Andrew Jacked. Andrew just won the Texas Pro for the third year in a row, and he looked absolutely amazing. So he's really the talk of the town right now. Everybody's talking about him. He won this show very easily, and I believe he was like 20 pounds up from last year. And so let's talk about Andrew Jack first. So Samir, what do you think about Andrew Jack's physique, the way he's looking now?
You know me, I'm going to say it as is. No ass kissing here. This guy, incredible. Seriously. He has what it takes. He have all the arsenal necessary, all the needed, combo. I honestly think we have a good chance, of pulling that off. I mean, it's not going to be a walk in the park. He's going to face some incredible bodybuilder, but I love his physique and the beauty of his physique. Shoulder to waist ratio, incredible. There are certain things I would love to give some advice on. He can pose, but there are certain things that could make the body looks even better. I'm always against opening the legs too wide, John. But what do I think of him? I think he's incredible. I honestly believe that he can do a lot of damages at the Olympia. So, that's all I could say. He's great. He is really good.
Now, some people were saying he wasn't quite hard enough. So if he can come in harder, do you think that's what he needs to do, come in harder?
Look, he looks good as is, but of course, you can't get, it's never enough when you enter the Mr. Olympia. I mean, that goes also to Derek. I'm not just saying Andrew is not hard. He looks good to me. He looks fantastic. I don't know who said that he wasn't hard enough. He looks
Yeah,
good to me. He looks good to me, but the more the merrier. If he get more ripped, why not? It's just gonna help him, you know, be up on very top, hopefully. So no, he's excellent. I think his quality is good. He can improve it a little bit. I think everybody can improve. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I love his shoulder to waist ratio, small waist. The muscle is hard looking. I don't like soft muscle. He's got hard looking muscle.
right,
What do you think,
right.
Marcus?
I mean, when I think about this, there's so many thoughts that enter my head. Yeah, I mean, this was the Texas Pro is officially at this point, the Andrew Pro. I mean, he's just, a well-deserved three-peat. I feel like when he's battling Nick for the best arms at this point. I mean, that's one thing I noticed was crazy. The bicep peaks from the back, and just the tricep itself looks like a whole bicep just hanging there. So I feel like his arms, like he's stepped up a lot. I like that how he's doing the front poses now. I mean, he's to me truly unbeatable when it comes to the front lat and the front double, especially that front lat. It's my favorite front lat spread. I love how he came as far as that the size now. So I think one of the conversations that we've seen as of late is like the 2023 Texas Pro was a little bit. I think he had a little bit better condition. But to me, I prefer this look 100%. It's just
I know,
he had the
Marcus.
size on
I
top
hear
of
you,
it.
Marcus.
So
I hear you. Big arms and everything, but the package, dude. The package is beautiful.
oh yeah,
Beside the big arms, the hanging triceps.
but those are the new
Yeah,
things about him that kind of because I mean, put it this way, everybody standing on that stage, he's Mr. Olympia. As far as the look, just standing there, he's Mr. Olympia. He's uncomparable when it comes to his just overall statue when he's there.
I guarantee you,
But
it's gonna make the top.
obviously,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No. I
No,
said I was gonna.
I'm curious where you would
Yeah,
place him. I'm curious.
I honestly believe it's slam dunk top three. I put him in the top three right now. As
Oh man.
is. I know Jean was talking about that 2 years ago. And whatever you predicted, Jean, you were right. You hit it right on the nail. The guy's body is beautiful. And this is what bodybuilding all about. When you want a Mr. Olympia, you want to have a pretty body along with big muscular hard body. I love his physique. As simple as that. He could actually be more professional in some of the poses because nobody really is perfect hitting every pose. But his body is like, wow, I'm sold. I'm sold on him. He's definitely in my top three.
Did y'all notice that he changed up his back pose a little bit, that back lat spread? I was seeing pictures of it in comparison, how it looks now. He did it at 2023 Texas, but he's kind of rounding his shoulders a little bit more forward. You can see a lot more dense muscle showing, but it kind of takes away from that overall like X-frame thickness, especially with like the shoulder area. But I like it. Like I like how it looks nonetheless. So I don't know if y'all peeped that or caught
No,
that,
no,
but
I agree with you. I agree with you. His muscularity, his muscle development is incredible. But I'm talking about the positioning. The positioning needs enhancement, and all of them, by the way, not just him. But this is how I see it in my eyes. The more professional. Let me give you an example. Remember, like Lila Brada, his presentation, the way he knew how to create line. When you have a body this good, I mean, I tell you, his physique is beautiful. And when Andrew are able to have total control over positioning, I swear, I wouldn't rule it out him winning. I swear. A little more quality. The guy's very good. Missing
Yeah.
nothing, really.
I feel
I
like
don't know.
his
What do you
ceiling is
think,
so high.
Jean? Jean, how do you see him?
I think this is what Mr. Olympia should look like.
Thank you.
I think he should be first place. I don't see some of these people who said he could be harder. I'm like, really? I mean, most of these pro bodybuilders don't have abs at all. He's got rock hard 6-pack abs all the time, and like you said, Samir, he's got that hard look and
pretty.
I mean, he's looked good for the last couple of years. But the
Yeah.
criticism's always been he's such a big guy. He's got such long limbs. His arms needed to be bigger.
Yeah.
And he put on 20 pounds in his last year. And man, I think this guy's a world beater. I just listened to Fuad's show the other day, and they were doing their predictions, and they all had him in fourth. I hope he wins. But I agree, Samir. I think he could. He's a good poser. Like if you were just watching his routine there, he was doing all those lunging poses, and he was going from side to side lunging. He's capable of doing like really good posing, but he needs to improve that. He could do a spectacular posing routine if he worked with somebody who knew what they were doing. You know, like he's
positioning is one thing,
posing, but he's not quite doing it.
Jean, you're right. You're right. I tell you, it's a pretty body to look at. I'll be honest with you. I mean, with all due respect to everyone, to me, it's not always the biggest who should be the winner, but he is big enough, but he's pretty. Look at his hip.
Right.
Look at his waist, the outer thigh. The guy have a pretty physique, and he's hard. Anybody that said he wasn't hard enough, blah, 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 blah. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know how to wipe their ass on bodybuilding. The guy is beautiful. It could actually get better yet. And if he does, Lord have mercy. I really can see this guy instantly in the top 3 in the Olympia.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
I talked to a well-known judge, and he said this guy could be Mr. Olympia. Not only this year, but he could be Mr. Olympia for several years.
He could.
So I think the judges are high on him, and they know this guy's got the kind of physique that could be Mr. Olympia. You know.
Yeah, from the front, he's
lights out. I have no doubt what you said is correct. But listen, and also I have to be truthful here. When we talk about the body of Samson have a beautiful body as well. Samson is massive, arms and shoulders to waist ratio is like incredible. Samson is not as hard as, he needs to be hard. You know, the hardness does matter. The hard muscle. I've always thought
Andrew looked harder than Samson. Even when Samson won that Arnold a couple of years ago, and Andrew was third and Nick was second, I thought Andrew looked the hardest out of all of them. And now with this added size he's got, I don't see. Man, I mean, to me, this guy's Mr. Olympia. I think he looks like Mr. Olympia more than Hadi, more than Derek. This is what Mr. Olympia should look like: wide shoulders, small waist, 6'3". Unbelievable. Rock hard, striations in his thighs, incredible abs. That guy's Mr. Olympia to me.
I mean, he reminds me of a more complete Surge kind of, like he's pretty to look at. This is the bottom line.
More muscle.
No, I'm telling you, the guy is deadly dangerous. And again, he can pose, like you said. Some modification can be done in positioning. Yeah. But if he improve another 5%, honestly, who's going to beat that? I mean, I know Derek is very good. I know Hadi is very good. But you got to look at the package too. The guy's got a pretty fast package.
Right. And then when you put him up next to Hadi and Derek, he's going to be so much taller and so much more aesthetic. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, okay, we see like Hadi's legs are muscular, Hadi is sharp and good middle, but the beauty of the physique, you cannot ignore, that beautiful physique, that type of muscle he has,
Right.
I tell you what, Andrew is going to be in the top 3 for sure, in my prediction. I won't remove him out of the top 3.
Yeah, all the experts right now got him in 4th, but I think he could pull an upside. I think if he comes in a little harder and maybe even a little bigger, a little fuller, with better posing, he could do a Ronnie Coleman from 1998 and win.
I feel like I agree in the sense of when he's like, so him, like, so it's like, who is my favorite as far as like the overall how he looks, right? Walking on stage, aesthetic, especially from the front. From the front, I think it's undeniable. The only person I kind of put on his level as far as those front shots, as far as just standing there, the silhouette, everything is like a Samson. I really like Samson's, but now I do think if there is a gap compared to last year's show, the gap was that fullness, that roundness that Samson brought, to where Andrew clearly showcased that at the
flow. You're right.
He
You're
brought that.
Right. You're right. Both have that flow, that shoulder to waist ratio, that pretty type of that Mr. Olympia needed to have mass with class and beauty. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
don't be surprised if Samson come in shredded. Oh my God, Samson is bad to the bone, man. Samson is bad to the bone. But I'm not 100% satisfied yet. He need to upgrade his quality another 5%, 10%. I'm telling
I
you,
think
he need to do that.
got
I
recent
feel like
pictures from Samson. We'll see what he looks like.
I feel like the big
Look
issue
at
is,
that.
is when you kind of you turn into the
I
some of
mean,
the side shots, the back poses. It's where it's like, I obviously it's not like that's not how Olympia is won as far as pose by pose, whatever. Like there's different things to it, but I think that's where you start to see where certain people might pull ahead as far as if you're only looking at the back or the side. To where maybe like, so granted, like I said, Andrew's incredible, just clearly if I'm making a statue, it's him. But it's like that lower leg, the legs as far as side shots and things like that, to where like that hamstring's not
I think
there.
his side chest could be definitely improved. His side tricep,
Yeah,
when he twists forward with that leg out, looks amazing.
I like that. Yeah. It's so hard to compare that too, but that's very reminiscent of like old like Olympia shows, and like when like watching the early Arnold's is kind of like where everybody's kind of doing like a slightly different pose to their to their strong suit.
I mean,
but yeah,
you cannot ignore a pretty body, man. I'll tell you, a guy like him is 6'2" or 6'3" with small waist. Oh my God, how tall is Samson, by the way? 6'1"?
he's at least, I think he's 6'1". Yeah, I think he's 6'1". I think Andrew got like an inch on him.
Update here.
You notice? I mean, look at that physique. Really, he's a flawless. But there's something about that skin that need to be thinner.
Yeah,
that can be done. 100% can be done. So
I think it's a good sign that he looks like this 7 to 8 weeks out. That is a good sign.
I do too. Yeah.
Because he was better conditioned than this, but he still has time. 100%.
Yeah, he never
Marcus, I only dieted 8 weeks. Marcus, I only dieted for 8 weeks when I went to Olympia. And I wasn't this solid 8 weeks before. So if I did it, he could do it. It's just a minor modification. He need to find out exactly what works 100% to get attain that etchy looking hardness. If you get that, guess what? If you get that, he's going to be the one to beat. I'm telling you, he's going to be the one to beat because he's really lagging nothing. I mean, Samson's beautiful body, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Look at that lat.
He's the total package as far as what you like. And that's why I think I kind of differ a little bit from you guys. I do feel Andrew's body is prettier. I don't know how else to
harder.
It's a prettier
it's
physique.
The muscle.
There you go. Hard. It's a lot less pulse worthy, but yes, harder. But I feel like Samson just takes. Yeah, but I just feel like Samson kind of has the best of both of those worlds, especially like because an issue is like we're comparing it to other people to where like it's the difference between Samson and Andrew placing 1 and 2 to like 3 and 4, sadly, because what we're comparing.
But Marcus, don't forget, if he wasn't, again, if I keep like messing up on Andrew, if Andrew a little bit smoother, he's not going to look as good. I mean, he looked good because he's hard. Just if you take that same hardness, put it on Samson, oh my God, then, it would be hard for me to decide. It'll be hard for me to decide. I think Samson have the same exact, maybe better potential, but I have yet to see him solid like a rock.
Yeah.
That's the truth. The honest to God, the truth. I mean, I love his physique, but the hardness he needs to come hard. That's all.
So would you say Samson has a higher ceiling than Andrew, like John or Samir?
I think Samson has unbelievable potential. Look at the size of his arm, his chest, his shoulder. He's missing nothing, but he's not at the same quality level of Andrew or Heidi or, Derek. I mean, he needs to be harder. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember when I was soft, I almost was in last place at the Olympia. Then when I got hard at 196, I won the Olympia. And then I won against bigger guys like Haney. I won against big guy like Berto Fox, Joseph Pocos. They're all bigger than me. But it's all about being hard, that onion skin muscle. If Samson, get that quality onion skin. I swear, I would honestly, I would put my money on him. But he hasn't showed me that yet. He looks beautiful. He looks good, but I need that hardness, and
Yeah,
it's within his reach.
last year when he was third, I mean, he had everything. He just wasn't as hard as Derek or Hadi. That's why he took third.
I agree, 100%.
Like he's
It makes it.
much. He does look like he's in much better condition now at 8 weeks out than he was last year. So, I mean, that's a good sign. You know, you can keep now coming down with it.
I kind of have an idea why he's not getting hard. I wish I could talk to him. It's really easy to reach that quality, man. It is easy. Maybe sometimes when you try too hard, it becomes more complicated. It's really trying too hard. It may work the opposite. You have to change a few things. Okay, look how pretty the body. And he, by the way, he's a great poser.
Yeah.
I like his
He's my
posing.
favorite poser
See?
on stage today.
He understands. Look at how he places his legs, his toes. I mean, yeah. No, he is a very good poser. He's a better poser than all the guy over there because you see, I understand how to create line. Another 7-8% quality, and he'll win it all.
Yeah.
Beautiful body.
Yeah, and his
He's
hamstrings
missing
are very
nothing.
dug out there.
After he won the Arnold last year, when he did those other shows, he seemed like he got a little bit harder for those other shows.
The UK, right?
Look at
Yeah,
that.
I think we did the
Yeah.
UK. He looked really good.
Yeah.
He can pose. He can pose too. Look at that. No, he can move. Yeah, it's a good transition.
Love the transitions. That's my favorite
Yeah,
thing.
good
We're watching
transition. Lots of muscle. Yeah, but I would want him to hold the poses a little bit more, and another 10% thinner skin or 5% thinner skin. You have all the striation comes out. Oh my God! I think Derek and Hadi have their work cut out for them if these guys get shredded. You know, shredded. I mean, really shredded. I'm talking a la Serge Nubret shredded, where you see fibers everywhere. He needed that. It's come on, sacrifice 10 pounds. Sacrifice 10 pounds. You still be huge enough. And by the way, when his skin is thinner, he's gonna look bigger under the light. Don't you think, John?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking this 300-pounder. He's a 300-pound approximately, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's probably close to 300, I'm sure. So Hadi beat him at the Arnold, and Hadi also beat him last year at the Olympia. So what do you think about Hadi's chances? I mean, the way he looked at that Arnold this year, man, he was so rock.
Hadi is winning because he's coming ready. He is very powerful. His personality on stage, his persona is strong, and he comes in shredded. Let's be honest. Hadi comes in hard. His legs and his midsection are hard. His striation in the chest, it's always clearly visible. I mean, look at that. I mean, you cannot ignore that kind of quality. The judge is going to look at quality and then forget about the physique. So when you have Samson having that kind of quality, look out. Look out. And that's why, Hadi's winning because he's like popping in hard muscle, hardness. You see the hardness. He's hard. And I think Derek needs to be harder than he was last year. And I still think Derek is probably still the most dangerous, but I'd like to see him harder yet.
But if Hadi and Derek went against each other the way Hadi looked at the Arnold, I'm sure Hadi would have won, don't you think?
Yeah. As far as last year,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
granted, Derek said
Take Hadi the way he looked at the Arnold and put him in last year's
Well,
Olympia. I think he's.
I mean, look at the legs, how hard. I mean, Samson's legs not that hard, but Samson's legs are beautiful, but not that hard. And Samson got a nice V, good midsection, but his chest and ab doesn't get that hard like Hadi. So if he get that hard as like Hadi, look out. I mean, look at how the glute. I mean, Hadi comes in shredded.
Yeah,
that's why Hadi is
comes in with his amount of conditioning and hardness.
Hey, Marcus, it's a water war. That's what I keep telling people. It's a water war. I'm telling you, these guys don't have fat on them, but they have to understand how to differentiate between hormonal fluid and water retention from sodium and stuff. You have to be able to find the right balance and to load properly without, it's a fine line. You got to do it right. And so I think once Samson put that together, look out. Hardy is doing it right every time. Every time he's coming in looking incredible. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Hardy could have been Mr. Olympia twice already.
Yeah, it's arguable that he could have won last year, honestly. Like, I think.
Oh, my God. He's the rock hard. Hardy look unbelievable here. That's why I was just talking. Listen, I've always talked to Derek, and I told Derek he have the potential to beat everyone every time. But for Derek to defend his titles, it's not. We have to think quality, no more size. Already massive. He's beyond massive. So he needs to be super etched to the bone. And if he does that, I think he's going to be still the favorite.
You think Hadi will have trouble peaking again since he just peaked at the Arnold? You think he'll be able to peak again at the Olympia?
Oh, yeah, he could. John, how do you see your top four?
You mean in order or just top four?
Well, let's say they're all in. Let's say if all four come in 100% ready,
then I would put Andrew in first. Probably, maybe Derek second, Samson third, Hadi fourth. I don't know. It's hard to say.
What do you think, Marcus?
Not all of them are going to be peak.
Yes, if I'm just making a prediction.
If all four come in the same quality.
But they won't.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, if that's the case, it's the show between Samson and Andrew, if that's the case to me personally. But I would never, like, my prediction would probably be Hadi. Then it's for me a toss-up between Samson and Derek. I would put Derek if I was betting on it. So it'd be Hadi, Derek, Samson. And then, honestly, I'd put Nick and then Andrew. And honestly, as a matter of fact, I might even have Curry up there. So I could even put Curry in front of Andrew.
Nick ahead of Andrew?
Yeah, for this, yeah. If I had to make a prediction, I would. Now, that's not to say Nick is my favorite or I like him better than Andrew as far as body. No, I like Andrew's body way better. But if I'm making a prediction as far as what I'm going to see on that stage and comparing it to the people who are probably a shoe-in for like the top three, I feel like it's going to be Nick will be very comparable to them.
Nick's quality is
better than Nick. Then why would you put Nick ahead of Andrew?
Say it again.
If you think Andrew's body is better than Nick, why would you put Nick ahead of Andrew?
As far as shot for shot, so I'm going to give back shots to Nick. If I'm going shot for shot, if I'm saying what my predictions are going to be, I think that Nick is going to take over more shots. He's going to be obliterated in his front shots. That's a given. Like he's not, even though he has a good front double. Nick, I do like his front double. It's no comparison to Andrew. Side shots, yeah. Nick's front lat spread is not good, honestly.
No,
yeah. So I feel like side shots are going to go to Nick personally. 100%. I almost say 100%. But I can't say that 100%, of course. And then back shots are going to go to Nick. So I just feel like if I'm betting, I would have to, even though, like I said, whose physique would I rather have? Who do I like better? Andrew. But if I'm just going off of who's going to be on that stage, how they look, how the judges, I feel like they're going to see it and place them, I'd put Nick above Andrew. I could be wrong. I mean, but I also have Curry in the mix too. I don't think I feel like Curry is going to be right there with them. I don't see him placing under 6 personally.
Mm-hmm.
So my real list right now is Hadi, Derek, Samson, and my only interchangeable one string that's really hard to pick is Samson and Derek, but I put Derek in front of Samson, then Nick, and then for me, I have Curry and Andrew, and then Hunter. So, and obviously, I feel bad putting Curry in front of Andrew. I just until
you're putting Curry in front of Andrew too.
Yeah, and I feel crazy saying that. I feel crazy, and I know I actually read
like 7th.
I got Andrew in 6th. I mean, but I can see Andrew getting 4th even. I can see him even getting 3rd. But I feel like my top three as far as having Hadi, Derek, and Samson, I don't think that's going to change personally. I don't see that changing. And now 4, 5, 6, I can see it 100% changing. I do feel like it's going to be a battle between Curry, Nick, and Andrew for that spot personally. And if I'm betting, I'm putting Nick in front of them.
Even after how he looked at the New York Pro and he almost tied with
Martin. Yeah. Because I think about that, and I was listening to someone that made a really good point as far as how, and this will kind of be on your side, because Andrew versus Martin, it's almost like that's not even a battle, right? Like, and that it actually F's up my mind a little bit. I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, I sound crazy right now. But I think it was Paul who said it, and he was talking about how if you compare Martin versus versus Nick, it was so close, right? Mm-hmm. But granted, it was off Nick, 100%. It was, it looked good, but it was off. Midsection was kind of, crazy compared. And then if you compare when Andrew was versing, it was a back-win Martin, but it's still like when you think about it, it's almost like lights out. Andrew's never going to be able to be even compared to like a Martin. Martin's not going to be on Andrew's level. So when I think about it like that, it's like, then how am I going to put Nick in front of Andrew? But if I'm really breaking it down pose for pose, what I've seen as far as, if we take the last 5 showings of Nick, the worst one is New York Pro, to where there's been 2 Olympians, an Arnold Classic, to where he looked really, really good. And of course, we can go even back further to the New York Pro that was in Tampa, to where he looked really good as well. So we have 3 years of just almost a Nick looking incredible at every show, aside from this last showing, which that's big. It's his last showing.
Right.
But
he didn't compete in the Olympia last year, so it was a long time.
Yeah. And I think that it could easily play against him. It could be the downward trajectory of Nick at this point. We could be seeing that, and then I could be completely wrong. And then, Nick could even place 6th, 7th. I mean, God, you got Hunter. Like, now I'm sleeping on Hunter. So the more I talk about it, the more I can sit there and change up everything. I just don't foresee any of them, if I had to bet, placing above like a Hadi, Derek, or Samson. But
if I had to make a bet, I would bet that Nick is going to be in phenomenal shape for the Olympia, because a lot of people are doubting him, and he always comes in good shape. And he was off in New York, and he knows he was off in New York, so I think he's going to be really rock hard. But it just comes down to his structure, and I think when you compare his structure to Sam's or to Andrew, it's night and day. I mean, Nick can't do anything about his structure. He's just got short legs, long torso, but Andrew's like a Greek god. I mean, he's just like unbelievable.
100%. Yeah, I know. And
John, you put Derek in first place. I mean, I'm sorry, you put Andrew in first place if they're all coming in the same condition.
Yeah, that's my
okay.
choice.
I have a surprise for you. This Olympia is going to be a lot of surprises, but again, the discussion here, if all 4 or 5 comes in the same condition. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to work. And it's going to work like I'm going to do it. And what I'm going to tell you right now will happen. Derek is going to repeat. Why? Okay. Derek have the package. We don't want to forget that, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, for me, whoever win, I'm happy for them. Doesn't matter who. But we have to be truthful here. Derek have incredible combo. But again, he needs to stop looking after being massive. He's already beyond massive. Derek will repeat. Now, again, all 4 or 5 in top, same condition. The biggest surprise, Andrew Jacques is going to jump in the 2nd place. Okay? Andrew Jacques is going to jump in the 2nd place. Now, earlier I said if Samson comes in 100% ready, Lord have mercy. So then let me take that back. For 2nd place, it's going to be Andrew or Samson for 2nd. Why? Okay. I'm talking about balanced physique, harmony, beautiful, small hip, balanced body. Okay. Now, I'm not, in the past year, I've been talking all positive stuff about Nick Walker. Nick Walker's quality is incredible. His hardness right now is better than all of them. Nick Walker is coming in hard. But again, Nick Walker have to be with some magician to help him learn how to do the flow. As I mentioned earlier, how Labrada put himself right on the runner-up after Haney, because Lee wasn't the biggest, but he knew how to manage, how to show strength and always pull it off. Nick needs to do that if you want to break in the top four. Now, Hardy is going to come in ready as usual, but again, Hardy is not as blessed in that beautiful line. Beautiful. Like I'm saying, when you look at the arm of Derek have an arm like Larry Scott style. Okay. Derek have an arm a la Larry Scott, which is a beautiful arm. Huge shoulders. Small. Good V. He has everything. So Derek has to be shredded. Again, I think he can defend his title successfully. And then we're going to wait for another year when Andrew comes in, another 7, 8 more, 10 more pounds with quality. I think he's going to take it the following year. So Derek right now, in my opinion, still the favorite.
So last year, Samir, did you think Derek deserved to beat Hadi at last year's Olympia?
No, because remember what we're talking about here, all 5 in top, the same quality. Derek wasn't hard enough. Derek was not hard enough. And I voted for Hadi 100%. I'm not changing my mind. Right. And you know what? Derek have more blessed, Derek is blessed just like Andrew, but again, Derek's muscle is fit together perfectly. He's got a beautiful package, massive chest, massive shoulders, beautiful arm, forearms, good V. The thighs are great, but he needs to start thinking quality. Otherwise, all batters out. If he comes in ready, he's going to take it.
I think last year Derek's weak point was he didn't have that density and hardness across his chest and shoulders like Hadi did, crunching shots.
Thank you.
And his abs weren't as hard as Hadi's. Remember when they asked for the ab shot, he's hitting them vacuum?
Mm-hmm.
So, if Hadi would have showed up at the Olympia last year like he did at the Arnold, I think he easily would have won the Olympia.
I have not changed my mind, and I'm telling you, I'm not kissing anybody's ass. I tell you one thing. I'm friends with both of them. Look, Derek didn't deserve to win last year, but his physique's still better. So when they all comes in the same condition, Derek is a favorite. And I think because he's got more seniority, he's already Mr. Olympia, so they're going to put Andrew in second spot. If Andrew come in a little bit more improved. But again, Samson too. I have not seen Samson like he should be. If he is, then he could exchange places with Andrew, because Samson is deadly dangerous. So Hardy is going to be there. I don't know. Again, it's all up to the judges right there. But from my perspective, I always look at the total flow in the package. The total flow is first, again, Derek. Second, Andrew or Samson. Hardy, we know Hardy. He's going to come in ready. But, can they get harder than Hardy? This is the thing.
So you think Hadi will be fourth then?
Look, it's very hard. It's very hard.
He's got to be fourth, so.
I'm always in favor of a complete, beautiful rhyming muscle. They rhyme very good. The Derek's physique rhyme, and so Samson does rhyme. But again, the most blessed of all of them still Derek, really. But again, Derek, stop bringing your lat too wide. Your lat is wide enough, Derek. No more playing the size game, because that's going to come back to haunt you. Derek, more hardness, more quality. And if that's the case, Derek is going to repeat. Again, okay. I love Andrew's look. Andrew's going to be standing next to them. He's going to look like an Empire State Building. Beautiful, small waist, like Serge Nobret with better legs.
Yeah.
So, but they're going to make him pay for, he's still a new kid on the block in comparison with Hadi and Derek. So the judge is probably going to say, oh, we'll make him wait for another year.
Yeah, not really, though. This is already his third Olympia. So, he's paid his dues. Just like, how many has Derek done? Derek's only done 3.
Yeah, but they're not going to put him over the existing Mr. Olympia if it's very close,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
You know how it is. But I
I mean,
think
we
Well,
saw
the
that with
top
Derek
three
and
last
Hottie.
year
I
were
like
Roddy,
Nick Walker.
Roddy, Derek, and Samson. So I think most people are thinking that's going to be a top three again.
Nick Walker is in top 5. Nick
Yeah.
Walker is going to be outstanding quality-wise, but I would love for him to learn how to do to create line. He needs to learn how to create line. Believe me, if he learn how to create line, he can hide a lot of things where he would hide some of the weaknesses. He would make his body less blocky. It would look more pretty. Please, Nick, do that. I don't care. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to Frank Zane. Talk to Lila Brada. Talk to someone that understand how to create line and transition. If you do that, it's going to give you another notch or two higher. Trust me.
Well, if you're going to
And so,
compare Nick to like the old school bodybuilders, I would say he's closer in quality to like Gaspari, because Gaspari didn't have the best structure, kind of shorter, but he came in
always
rock
lost to
hard
Haney.
and he was always able to
Yeah.
beat guys. He was thick and he was rock hard, so he was able to beat guys that had better structures than him because he came in shape and he had that thickness. And I think that's what Nick is like too. But I think now he's going to have it up. He's going to have to be up against someone like Andrew, who's taller with a way better structure.
Yeah.
But like Marcus said, I mean, Nick does have that thickness, so he is going to look.
I don't see Hottie.
Even the back shots, you know.
I don't see Hunter is heading in the right direction in terms of hardness. I have not seen him. I'm not, Hunter is not Lee. Okay, if he have the slickness of his father, the slickness yet be more slick and get a little harder, he'll do good. But
he's got his
I've
show
seen him super hard.
He's got his show in 2 weeks, so we'll see what he looks like.
Well, yeah, it's very hard to say now, but I mean, Hunter's got a pleasing overall, good put together body, but I haven't seen him like rock hard.
Yeah,
I just can't see putting Hottie in 4th. That's like, it's just, to me, that's it's so tough,
Well,
because it's like he just.
I'm not. Well, look. First of all, I don't think he's gonna come in 4th because I think he's gonna be harder than all of them again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, it's like assuming. I'm assuming everyone come in this hard. So they haven't been able to come harder than Hottie. Let's be honest.
yeah.
So therefore, you cannot remove Hottie from the top 3 because he is, by virtue of his past, he's going to come in the top 3. He's going to come in hard as a nail. So, but I'm just saying, let's hope Samson comes in hard as a nail.
But you don't think
Andrew already proved himself.
You don't think a genetic freak like Andrew can come in even better and just shock everybody and win? I mean, that's what happened with Ronnie Coleman in 1998. Dorian wasn't competing, so everybody said, okay, top 5 in 98 Olympia is going to be Flex, Sean Ray,
honestly,
Kevin Levrone, and Nasser, because all those guys took second to Dorian at least
you know,
once.
I'm not against
top 4, and maybe Ronnie will be 5th. Ronnie comes in better than everybody with a better structure, and he beats everybody because he came in rock hard. I think that's what should happen with him.
If he can come in another 5% harder, and guess what?
Yeah,
it's possible because I love his body. I mean, Andrew Jack, you still consider him, even though this is his 3rd Olympia.
Yeah. When Ronnie won his first Olympia, he won the Night of the Champions in May. He even beat Levrone, but nobody had him in that top 5, top 4, top 5. They had those other guys, and Ronnie beat all those guys.
Okay, but there's one person we didn't talk about, and I think he's very deadly dangerous. His name Behrooz.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't talk about this guy, and I'm being truthful here. I don't know him. I never met him, but looking at his photo, if he comes in super shredded, I would definitely see this guy in the top 5. Definitely, right this year.
Who's he going to beat?
Who? Look at his body.
Look
at his body. Look at his balance.
Push out of the top 5 to make the top 5.
This guy, listen to me. This guy Behrooz is a bigger Samir. Okay? He need to work on his positioning too. He focused so much on his butt. He still hunched down when he do the side. I think Milos should be should put more, he should focus on his line and tell him not to do some of the bad habit. They keep like doing that with his legs and keep doing that. You need to be more professional. I love his physique. The guy have a pretty balanced body. Look at that. This is wrong. Let's see what he's doing there. That's wrong. I don't like the way he did it. He's got beautiful side shots.
He's not gonna stop that.
I don't think he's gonna change that habit. I think Milos have to find a way to tie his legs or something with a rope. They need to find. It's very hard to delete old habits like overnight. This is a problem. But I like his body. I mean, look at him here in the room. He's not tan or anything. He's got a beautiful physique.
Yeah.
I mean, the leg is wrong. The position of the leg's not right. But I saw him in that one show looking hard as a nail. Is a pretty balanced body. And I can see him, I mean, I don't think this is his best video. I saw some stuff. I saw him looking better than that. Way better than that. If you look at him on stage, that's hunching down is wrong. Milos, help him. Milos, you got to help Baruz because he's got what it takes. The guys have the body, the genetic. But if we don't teach him how to look like an eagle instead of hunching down like a hen, that's why, I mean, I pay attention to these things, John. And it doesn't matter if I like his body or not, but some of those habits have to change.
Yeah.
Milos, help him. Help him as posing, Milos.
I don't think some of these guys realize how much their posing makes a difference on stage.
Honestly, Jean, what do you think? What do you think about Baruz? Honestly, just assessing his body. What do you think?
He's great. He's real wide. He's got good symmetry. He could definitely.
He's standing wrong. Look at you. See what I'm saying? He's standing wrong, John.
Yeah.
He's not being professional in positioning.
He's not getting.
And if that's Milos' job. Milos, you got to help him fix every pose and then work on his transition. I know you peaked him just right here and it looked really good, deserved to win. I love his body, but it's never good enough. Never good enough. None of us is good enough. We always need to be as professional as possibly can. And this Mr. Olympia is not Mr.
Let me ask you a question.
This is not Mr. Venice Beach.
What if they judged the Mr. Olympia like they used to judge it when you won it, and they had 3 rounds, and they had the symmetry round, and they scored that, so that score counts, and then they had the compulsories, the mandatory poses, and that score counts, and then they judge the posing round, and that score counts. Do you think Andrew would have a better chance of winning? You think so, Marcus?
Oh,
Hell yeah.
man, I can't tell you. I can't tell you how good is Andrew.
He would probably win the symmetry round, right? Him or Samson, I would think, because those guys have the most proportionate symmetrical physiques. So if they're doing quarter turns and they're doing comparisons 3 guys at a time and they're doing quarter turns, just totally relaxed, I think Andrew would win that round. And that round counts. That's one round out of 3. When they all count,
Andrew is in my good list, man. Andrew is in my good list, and I can definitely see him in the top 3 this year. As is.
Because the way they do it now, they do 7 mandatory poses, and they just count. Oh, he wins 4 to 3. He wins 4 poses. He wins 3 poses.
Yeah, and that's the way my eyes look at it in today's world. Because it's what I'm used to. It's what I see. So that's why I'll play somebody like a Nick as high as he is. Because if we're talking that, then it's a whole different ball game.
Marcus, ask you a question. I know you're one of the new kids on the block, but I'm asking you this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you see Baruz's physique?
Oh, like just in general, incredible. He has like I get why. So I understand. Like he to me is the same thing as far as when we talk about like a Samson, that ceiling. It's like such a complete look. It's head to toe so complete. And then if we were doing things like, go ahead.
You know why Sergio Oliva was great? Because he's got a small waist, small hip, and he's got an otter sweep on his thigh. Belarus is that kind of body. He's got a full chest, full, big, beautiful arm, and he's put together right. So I don't care if he's new in the game, but I see this guy as a Mr. Olympia in the future. I mean, there's a lot of great guys. If Samson come in this ripped like Belarus is more ripped than Samson. If Samson comes in ripped, which is something that I don't know, it's still questionable in my opinion because he hasn't proved it.
Yeah,
So I tell you, Samson could fucking win the show. He could. Comes in as hard as Hardy, he could win. So it's really hard to. It's hard to really. We will see. We'll see. It's very hard to predict.
I don't think Samson will ever be as hard as Hardy though.
Yeah, it's just not. Body. Sadly, yeah. And it sucks because it's playing on your strengths.
Yeah. Samson's got more round, full muscle bellies, and he's just not going to have that shredded, grainy look like Hardy does.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what's kind of because if Samson came with anything of a look of how Belarus comes in, it's lights out, and I think I put that above everybody, even Andrew. I think it's lights out for Samson. Andrew would be right there as well, but there's a completeness to Samson's physique that I see right now that Andrew is getting to. Like I said, this is the best I've seen Andrew. Like he looked incredible.
So Jean, now that we're talking about the quality, what's in your opinion needed for Andrew to come in 24K?
At 24K,
I think he needs to
quality onion skin.
I think he needs to improve a couple poses, maybe come in a little harder.
No, I'm not talking about the poses, John. I'm talking about how can he attain that super duper etched quality physique, like Nubre, like Gaspari, like Hardy. You know what I'm saying? To get that onion skin. What do you think?
I think with Andrew's physique and Andrew's structure, believe it or not, he could even come in a little bit bigger from the Texas show to the Olympia. He might be another, I don't know, 4 or 5 pounds heavier, but he just needs to come in a little harder. I mean, I think what happened to him in the past when they tried to have him come in more leaner and more ripped, he lost that fullness and he lost his impressiveness. That guy he needs that thickness and that fullness to be totally impressive.
But John, that's what you're talking about, John, here is peaking. He is missing the peak. He's missing his peak. Okay, so what you're saying, when they make him there's a way of peaking. So he needs to peak properly.
Right.
He needs to peak properly. I don't think any of these guys have fat on them. I swear. Just talk to any of the coaches. Talk to Hani Ramboy. Talk to Nick Walker, coach. Well, they'll tell you the same.
I don't think Andrew's that far off. I mean, to me, he's got that hard look. I mean, he just needs to come in just a little more. I don't think he's that far off.
I always said this. I need to wear a shirt that says water war. It's that fluid in and outside the cell. Once you understand how to manage that. None of these guys have fat on them. Trust me, guys. It's that hardness. It has to do, it's like what you are taking and how you are peaking. Because they're all doing cardio. They're all burning fat. I mean, I guarantee you, Samson has no fat on him. I guarantee you. But again, look at, same thing with Andrew. But Andrew is peaking properly. I know who's coaching Andrew. The coach, what is it, Chris coaching him? Or what? Not Chris Aceto. Is it Chris?
Chris is
okay, well, okay. If Chris is coaching him, then I'm comfortable that he's going to come in more ready. Okay? Because I think Chris understands fluid and electrolyte management more than many of the coaches. I know that because Chris and I talked a lot about this topic. And so this is where all the mistakes is like, understanding how much fluid needed in the muscle so you could be full and popping without spilling over. So there is a way to do that. And you need to have this guy calm down, relax, and be ready 10 days out and manage the fluid. It's easily manageable, guys. But sometimes when you try too hard, you mess up. Relax about it. They all after the show's gonna look, wow, look at this. I look great. I wish I looked like that. Why? Because they relax, their nerve is calmed down, and the body doesn't retain as much water. So it's a fine line, and only masterful coaches understand those fine line, you know. And so the coach that actually leave it to the last minute and say, oh, okay, well, I give him a diuretic now, and he's gonna dry up. Bullshit. It's not always, things aren't resolved with diuretic. Sometimes you need water to make you look better. So you have to understand when and how much. There's at times you don't need to touch diuretic, and sometimes you may need it, but knowing how much and how it's necessary. Okay? And I know, no bullshit, some of the coaches will do, but they know exactly how to use it. And some abuse it, and you end up flat. When you lose water from the cell, excessive amount of fluid, you're going to look soft. You're going to look soft. So understanding, sometimes when you full, like you said, John, full and calm, your nerves are calm, so you don't have subcutaneous fluid because your nerve can cause you to retain water. Trust me. And when you shred it to the bone, a little bit, tiny bit of subcutaneous fluid is not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. But if you're flat and holding water, you're going to look like crap. You're going to look soft, and you're going to look like crap.
Right.
So this is where it's a fine line.
I think John touched on something that I definitely like. Well, obviously, Samir, you hit it out the park. But John mentioned that with say just speaking on Andrew, I kind of agree as far as playing to his strengths. Him coming in with that fullness, like how you're saying, he can even be bigger. I think that's very true, and I think that will actually set the whole tone as far as like, okay, we can't deny him at this point because we kind of seen a taste of that at this year's Texas Pro. Like he was fuller, bigger, and it's like, okay, this is. The hype is deservingly so. So I feel like I can see that same thing happening if he does come in that little bit more, fullness, which just sounds crazy, but yeah.
I totally agree. Sometimes being full, and sometimes you may think you're retaining water. You're looking at yourself from here to here, but you're not retaining water. You retain a little bit of water. From 10 yards away, you're going to be shredded. I told you one time, I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast, I was in Birmingham or Nottingham, and backstage was Dorian Yates. And Dorian, from here to here, and I know, in fact, I grabbed Dorian's waist, okay? I grabbed his skin. His skin was pretty thick, but he was full. So from here to here, Dorian looked good, but didn't look gnarly hard. But when he went on stage, he was the hardest. So you have to understand, hormonal fluid from normal fluid and how to be full. Like you said, when he's full, Samson is going to look better. And that little bit of water that may have subcutaneous is not going to be harmful. It's not going to affect him as much. But if he lose water from the cell and have some subcutaneous fluid, it's going to look soft. So you have to understand where to draw the line.
Were you asking me about Samson or Andrew, Samir?
No, I'm talking about Samson. Oh. You said if he's fuller and not.
I was talking about Andrew, not Samson.
Okay, but I think Samson too. That apply on both. That apply on all of them, actually.
It does, yeah.
And a lot of people may think like Hadi is taking diuretic, but you know what? One of the things I learned from Frank Zane. Frank Zane, he meditates. He knows how to meditate before the show. He keep himself calm. So cortisol, fluid that comes from your nerve dissipate. It's gone. So he goes on stage and he look like concrete. He look like carved out of stone. So you have to understand your nerve works against you. The more calm you are, the better you dry you look. Well, all of these things come into play.
Full character. I don't think he's going to be freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, look at Andrew. I mean, he looks pretty hard to me. Then again, look, someone is doing a good job. Again, the coaching on Nick Walker has been very solid and it's been very good. And Nick is coming up with a hard muscle. I think my advice to Nick, learn how to create flow, how to create line. That's what I advise for Nick Walker. My advice to Derek Lunsford, Derek, please get super hard. Make sure you're more shredded this year than you ever were, and you win the Olympia. Derek, Andrew Jack, incredible. If he put on 5 more pounds of muscle, I don't think it's necessary, but he is going to create some damages. I think he is the top 3 in my book. Samson, quality, a little bit more quality. So let's see how it's going to happen, what's going to happen, and we'll be there to watch. So
yeah, we got 7 weeks, so I'm sure we'll change our opinion in the next 7 weeks.
I think Samson have a plenty of time, and I think he's already near ready. Again, the rest is peaking. Peaking is the whole game right here. Yep. Understanding how to calm down, load up. You are ready. If you're not ready 2 weeks out, you're not ready. 10 days before the show, you should be ready. The rest is calm down. Your muscle's not going anywhere. Practice some posing, have fun. Don't do what I did in 1979, stay up all night, look in the mirror. I'm like, you learn, live and learn, okay? I made those mistakes in the past. And I didn't, I was lucky to beat Ron Tufo because I stayed up all night looking at myself, see the changes. But, we learn as we go.
Yeah.
The year after, I learned how to calm down the night before and all these things, live and learn. That's why we're trying to tell some of those guys what's needed. And we talk about safety because really, I would love to see these guys looking healthy, like Andrew look healthy, beautiful. He looks incredible. He had that healthy look to his body.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys.
This is what I'm trying to do, John. We're trying to make bodybuilding great again.
It's crazy to think that we haven't even touched base on like so many other people. That's how deep this lineup's going to be. So hopefully we can to be continued with that one because it's deep.
But it's very exciting to see a great lineup. This lineup this year is going to be fantastic, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see beautiful body up there. Like, Andrew's body is really pretty. I love to see pretty body.
Yeah.
Small waist, unreal. So.
All right,
what
guys,
is there to talk about,
continue
John?
Continue this talk next week, and we'll see what happens from this week to next week. And then, we got like 7 weeks left to the Olympia, so we got a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
We'll see you next week.
Good talking to you guys. You guys have a good weekend, too. We'll see you next Thursday.